So having created probably the driest title ever, I'm going to jump quickly into what I really want to talk about. Everybody familiar with this picture? Not taken very long ago. That's our great capital city, and you can't really see it because the air quality is so bad. So, bit of background. That's the wrong way. We have standards for air quality in the UK, which are actually set at EU level. And actually, the one that court case was about was actually an invisible pollutant. Thank you. Nitrogen dioxide, which you can't even see in that horrible picture. But it's very harmful, and it can lead to early death, as you pointed out in your presentation earlier. So there's an EU directive, an EU rule that sets out what's the safe level of nitrogen dioxide, and basically the UK has been breaking that rule, which is what led to this court case. And thankfully, the government was found to actually breaking this rule and not making enough progress to fix the situation. So we've got playgrounds across the capital city where the kids aren't allowed out to play on some days because the air quality is so bad. Now, the important thing about this story is, one, that it's got a relatively happy ending, and that the government has been wrapped on the knuckles and told to go and make a better plan on how it's going to improve air quality, not just in London, but in other affected areas across the country. But also that it's not just the standards that are important. It's not just having set what the safe level of nitrogen dioxide is that's important. It's also being able to enforce those standards. And in this case, that was because there's a whole set of EU processes that mean that those standards actually mean something. So the next slide, there's something called the European Court of Justice, which is probably one of the famous EU institutions these days, because Theresa May has said she doesn't want anything more to do with it. But there's also a whole set of other agencies that help companies, help governments comply with standards, not just on clean air, but on things like toxic chemicals, on habitat protection. So across a whole range of environmental issues, it's not just that the standards are there, it's that they're actually enforced and implemented. So the big picture here is, as I said, it's not just clean air. Actually, 80% of our environmental protection stems from EU standards. So it's a really big deal that we're leaving. But it's okay, I hear you say. We've got Theresa May, and she's totally on the case. She's announced this repeal bill, which this is her at her party conference in October, saying we're going to make sure that on the day we leave the EU, everything feels the same. It's just we're not in the EU. So all the standards will continue to apply. Now the important thing is that we don't really know how the enforcement of those standards is going to continue to apply. So without a European Court of Justice, who's going to tell our government ultimately that they're breaking their own laws? Where does that accountability come from? And without EU agencies like the Chemicals Agency, for example, to receive reports from, for example, England's Environment Agency, how are we going to sort of monitor progress, even when maybe it's okay, but how are we going to have that sort of transparency? The other complication is that Andrea Leadsom, who's, as Henry mentioned, the Secretary of State for the Environment, said that actually, while it's straightforward to transpose about 2/3 of those environmental protections, a third of it is really complicated. So we're in a bit of a pickle here. So what do we do? Well, we have this new coalition called the Greener UK Coalition, which is what I coordinate at Green Alliance. And we got together pretty sharpish after the referendum result because we knew that leaving the EU would have such a big impact on our environmental protections. So you can't, that's an advert that we had in the Times, by the way. Actually, you can see the logos. So we've got 13 of some of the biggest environmental charities. So the National Trust, the Wildlife Trust, WWF, Friends of the Earth, and Client Earth, which was the charity that actually brought that court case about the dirty air, and which they won. So they're a bunch of kind of campaigning environmental lawyers. This is just some of the other organisations that we're working with as well. And we actually think Brexit is not just about keeping things as they were, because even when we were in the EU, well, we still are, it's not like the environment's doing wonderfully. We need to go even further. So we need to keep all the protections that we already have, but we need to go even further and make sure that the UK is really leading the way on environmental protection and climate leadership, whether it's in the EU or not. One of the things that we're doing incidentally is a pledge for the environment, which nearly a third of MPs have signed. So we're not alone in thinking this way. Actually, a lot of our elected members of Parliament think that this general principle is right as well. A lot of the hard work is going to be translating that into the complicated details of how we extract ourselves from the EU and making sure that that actually works in practice. So on the repeal bill itself, which I won't go into loads of detail on, but there's three main points that are really important. One is that the parliamentary process is proper, basically. That we're not, the timing is really tight. So once Article 50 is invoked, probably next week, we've got 2 years to complete the withdrawal negotiations, and the government also wants to complete the negotiations for the new relationship with the EU in that period as well. That's a bit of a get your skates on sort of situation. And the risk with get your skates on sort of situations is that stuff gets missed, stuff isn't properly scrutinised, and maybe things fall through the gaps. So even with best will in the world, maybe some of our protections or some of the way of enforcing those protections we might lose on the way out. So it's really important that we have proper processes. The second thing is that we bring over all environmental protections and environmental principles, which sort of structure that whole framework. And the third one is about this implementation piece that I was talking about earlier. We don't just need the standards, we need the enforcement of those standards. We need to make sure that they exist in practice. So there's an academic called Andy Jordan who has coined the term, at least I think he coined the term, he uses it a lot, zombie legislation, which is basically where you've got a standard, like an air quality standard, but in practice it doesn't mean anything because there's no one enforcing it and it doesn't kind of evolve over time. So we don't want to end up with a load of them because then that's just a load of useless legislation that isn't really doing anything. So some of the key principles that I think we need to think about when it comes to implementation are transparency. We need to have visibility of the data. We need to know what actually is the quality of our air diet. We need accountability, so we need the government to be held to account by some sort of mechanism. If it's not going to be the EU and its institutions, then can we replace them with institutions here in the UK? That's a question that maybe comes down a bit to how the negotiations go. Maybe we can negotiate continued access to some of the EU agencies, so we don't have to replace them here in the UK, which it seems less and less likely. One of the other DEFRA ministers said just the other day that we create our own chemicals agency here. And that's a hell of a lot of expertise and resource, and we'll just apply that across all environmental policy and then all other policy. But if that's what we've got to do, then we've got to do it properly. So some of these principles, and we need to think about the different functions that are needed for good implementation of environmental policy. So the main takeaway points being, it's not just the standards that matters, it's how you implement them. That the environmental community is doing stuff on this. We've got your backs to some extent. We could do with some public support as well. And then I was asked to give 2 actions. My first action, which is a small action, is to go onto our website, www.greenuk.org, and look at the MP pledge and see whether your MP has signed it. That's not the end of the action. If they have signed it, maybe send them a nice little tweet saying, thank you, I really appreciate that you signed the pledge, I think it's really important. And if they haven't signed it, maybe write them a letter and say, I think this pledge is really important, I would really love you to sign this pledge. Because we need to protect the environment as we leave the EU. That's a small action. The big action is about taking some time. I'm going to give you a month to connect in a way that you haven't yet with nature in your local community. So that could be in a kind of big way, like I volunteer with my local wildlife trust down in Sydenham. You could do something like that. You could take a bunch of your friends to the park, or you could learn, I don't know, 3 new species that are found in your local area. Just do something that makes you appreciate what nature you have in your local